Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about an amazing manifestation story of imagining and revision and inner conversations on how someone was cured of terminal cancer. This is a mind-blowing story, but it proves that all things are possible and that there's always hope. If you know how to use the law of assumption or the law of consciousness or the law of belief and impress your subconscious mind with the end desire, then anything is possible. So first of all, definitely subscribe to my channel if you want step-by-step tips on exactly how, in a systematic, predictable way, to manifest what you want. So here's the thing. As soon as I got this story, I knew that I had to share it with you. And this is one of the best stories that I've ever gotten. And it uses imaginal conversations and it uses revision. And it shows that everything comes in a natural way. So the email that I got explained how the person writing in had gotten a phone call from her friend. And her friend explained to her that she was just diagnosed with terminal cancer. Terminal means that she had 3 months to live and then that was it. When she said that at first, she was completely shocked and didn't know exactly what to do. But then she considered that she would put manifesting to the test in a way that she had never done before. And so what happened is the first thing that she did was she imagined talking with her friend. So she created and constructed a conversation to talk to her friend and explaining that her friend was telling her how she was perfect, the cancer was gone, and she was okay. So that was the very first thing that she did. But nevertheless, things seemed to get worse. So her friend would call her and she would get bad news. So things began to get worse. But she said she remembered watching my videos, and especially the one where I explained about my friend. This video that I released, I imagined my friend being in good health. Now, he was addicted for years and years and years. And when I did that, my friend the next day was found in a gutter, alive, but in terrible condition. But ever since then, he was sober. So this woman writing in, she said she remembered that video and she decided that this was a bridge of incidents and she would continue to persist in imagining anyway. So any conversation or call that she got that did not fit with the imaginal act of her friend being in good health, she revised that conversation. So when she got the bad news, she would go into her imagination and revise and modify the conversation to explain that she was doing well. The news continued to get worse and worse. And then she had chemo and everything seemed to be good. And so she had no side effects. And she attributed this to the manifesting, right? Because she imagined that everything was good. There were no side effects, which is pretty crazy. But then her friend broke out into a fever, a very bad, devastating fever. Panicking, again, she realized this is just the part of the bridge of incidents. And what happened after this was miraculous. So like I said in the beginning, she was diagnosed with 3 months to live. So that was her prognosis, and it was terminal cancer. After this fever broke, they did a reading of the cancer, and it had shrunk to such a serious degree that the prognosis at that point was infinite. What does that mean? That means that she had an infinite span of time to live. Now, here's the thing. When she first wrote in this letter, she said it's cancer, right? It's something that just doesn't go away. Once you have it and you're terminal, you're screwed. That was her initial reaction, but it didn't matter because in invoking the imagination, imagining the person as you want them to be, all things are possible. It doesn't matter what anyone says, what a doctor says, what science says, what your logic says, what your memories say. None of that matters. If you imagine the successful outcome, then all things will be used in correlation to get you exactly what you want. So here's the analysis or breakdown of this story. So initially, this is one of my favorite techniques, and it's constructing a conversation with the person telling me what I want to hear, right? So that's what she did. She imagined her friend telling her that she was in perfect health and that the cancer was cured. That was the first step that she took. And from then on, all the events coincided with that imaginal act. Another amazing thing that this person did was anytime she got bad news, either she chalked it up to a bridge of incidents, or she revised the conversation to have the woman tell her something else. So this is critical, right? Because what can happen here is if we run with this negative feeling, we continuously feed these negative thoughts and think that everything is a disaster. It's not a 100% certainty that the manifestation is going to go in perfect fruition. Right now, it's possible that if she imagined it properly, then no matter what happens, it's still going to go to the end. But with her believing that all things were going towards that good end, she actually would create that assumption in her mind. So that's the key, right? No matter what is happening, you automatically assume that it's going towards the end. And as Neville Goddard said, anything that is assumed, whether it's true or false, will harden into fact, which means that it will become true. And so another thing that I want to point out here is this fever, this catastrophic event. Right now, here's the thing, and I don't want to go too deep into details because it's not as important, but a fever after chemo is one of those things that's like, it's a terrible thing because there's nothing to fight it, and that means there's an infection. There's no more white blood cells because of the chemo, and so the infection is just basically over, generally, not 100%. And that's with scientific terms, right? That's with letting things go, not imagining, none of that stuff. But this fever was used in such a manner that something happened here and transformed something inside of her body, and it diminished the cancer, and it actually was used for her. So the thing about manifesting is all the obstacles in the way right now, all those obstacles, all those facts, this is a key aspect of manifesting. They appear to be in the way. They appear to be preventing you from between you and your finished outcome. But in fact, when imagined, all things will be neutralized. All those obstacles will be neutralized and a new set of facts come into play. So this is for everything, right? When I imagined a raise at my job and a new position at my job, there were so many things in the way, but nevertheless, 2 people got fired, 2 people got fired, 2 people got promoted, and I was the third, and I got the position that I wanted. There were so many things in the way between me and the end, and the same thing with this woman. So many things in the way between her and the end. But nevertheless, all of those things will be utilized in perfect order with perfect intelligence, and we never consider the means how. We just imagine the end, and that's what will unfold. All things will be used to get you where you want. So in this case, that fever in some miraculous way was used to diminish the cancer, and now it's an infinite prognosis, right? And that's the crucial part. The final part is that on the brink of death, it doesn't matter. There's always hope. Whatever you want, it doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what's in the way. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past or what you've seen happen. It doesn't matter what statistics say. If you imagine the end, you don't consider anything in the middle. You imagine the end, you impress it upon your subconscious mind in first person point of view. You saturate your mind with the fulfilled desire. If you can do that properly, right? You select a good scene after the desire has been fulfilled. That's a key aspect there. We never consider the means. Considering the means creates the means, right? Creates the obstacles in the way. If we imagine the middle, we create the middle, but the middle is in no way related to the end. So instead, we go directly to the end, and then what happens in this miraculous infinite intelligence fashion is that a bridge of incidents unfolds perfectly, and it will take the shortest path to get us to that end. So basically, to reiterate that, when we plant a seed, the tree is going to be in the most fastest, easiest, shortest possible distance from A to B. So we don't have to worry about what do I have to do, or is this going to take an elongated way? When you plant a seed, it automatically starts to grow. But that doesn't mean that it's going to happen instantly. In this case, with this particular instance, the woman was sick, she was diagnosed, she went through chemo, multiple phone calls, things got worse, fever broke out, and then finally all those things would have worked together. And in fact, the chemo would have had to be used in order to invoke this fever, which in the end would consume the cancer to leave her with an infinite prognosis. So I just wanted to kind of outline and give you a specific overview, and there's probably more details that we can never fathom, right? Because all these things work perfectly. There's probably millions of things working behind the scenes, and that is with every single manifestation generally. It doesn't matter if it takes one thing or a million things, or one person or a million people, or it takes one day or 10 years. But the desire that we have, if we imagine it with sufficient force in the end, in first person point of view, after the end, in first person point of view, saturate the mind with it, feel the feelings, emulate the feelings of the wish fulfilled, and then drop that desire. And then no matter what comes up, we automatically know, no, this is happening. And that's the mindset that I have. When something contrary comes up in my desire, in the world, I just say to myself, no, I've imagined this. I already know the outcome is coming soon. And that's the way that I roll with it. And so use manifesting for anything. There's no limits. All things are possible. Health, wealth, love, happiness, anything at all. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, definitely subscribe. Hit the bell icon. If you like this video and you want to get more content, sign up for my email list at sovereignmind.com/register and stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching.